Hello Leo, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self to ultimately create and sustain the relationships that you desire and deserve. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have a different tarot deck I'll be using for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, so they're not going to resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, this is about taking what helps and leaving what does not. And then there's a plane going overhead, but I wanted to get through that intro. All right, Leo, let's start with your side of this connection. You have stability with the High Priestess in reverse. I feel like you are, right now, your main focus, whether it's in this connection or just in general, is stability. Finding commitment, feeling grounded in a connection, focusing on the sustainability of, building with somebody else. Now, the High Priestess in reverse is an energy of not listening fully to your intuition when it comes to going about doing that. Now, sometimes we don't really know how. So I feel like we'll talk a lot about where that's coming from and what that really means. But I do feel like you're looking for commitment from this person. And I feel as if they're not giving it to you, because on their side of this, they have innocent with the Seven of Cups. Now, even if you're like married to this person, I feel like they're very wishy-washy, their energy feels. With the Seven of Cups, it's like, I don't really know what I want. I don't want to commit to anything. I just kind of want to, I want to keep you close, but I don't want to, totally jump with, 2 feet in, like one foot in, 1 foot out kind of energy. Now, this innocent card is this energy of, I don't think they are innocent, but I feel like they have a tendency to come off as very innocent. Like maybe they have a justification for their actions, or there's always an excuse, or they're always able to kind of talk you into understanding their perspective. And I feel like you do this, you allow them to do this because overall theme for this reading is soulmate. So I feel like you have a very intense, very loving connection to this person. Now, one of the things about this card and just in general about soulmates is that there is not just one soulmate that we have on this planet. We have plenty of people who we can connect with on a soul level who can be considered our soulmates. It doesn't mean like, oh, this is your person and you found it, and if this doesn't work, you're screwed. Okay, so please don't take it that way. But I do feel like you kind of have a tendency to maybe give this person the benefit of the doubt more than you do other connections, and kind of allow them to maybe cross your boundaries a little bit more than you would other people, because in between this connection you have change with the Seven of Wands. The universe is saying something has to change, because it's very obvious that your needs aren't being met here. You're not getting what it is that you are desiring, what it is that you are truly wanting out of this connection, and that needs to change. So what can you do about it? How can you change that? What is within your control? That's just the overall energy. Let's jump into the story. This is for Leo's connection to the person they are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. Let's see, Leo, what we've got for your side of this connection. This is Leo's side of the connection. Woo, Temperance in reverse. You are frustrated because things are not changing. Death in reverse with the Temperance in reverse. Things aren't changing. It's like you're expecting things to be different. You're expecting things to get better. You're expecting things to improve, for this person to change, for this person to commit. But they don't. They don't change. Now, one of the things we have to remember is that nothing ever changes if nothing ever changes, right? Things are never going to change unless we change our approach. So if we can't change other people, but we can change ourselves, I feel as if the goal for this reading is going to be figuring out how to focus on what you can control. Because this Eight of Wands here is, I feel like it's like you feel like things start to progress, and then it feels like you end up right back where you started with this person. It's like you're like, oh, things are getting better, and then you're like, okay, back to the start. Like, here we go again. And it just feels like that just keeps happening. It's like over and over again. But it makes sense why you're frustrated. Now, I feel like with this person, you've had a tendency to be a lot, like really forgiving almost to a fault a little bit. Was that the High Priestess in reverse? Hang on. I want to see. Was it this? No. Where did I see that? That was weird. Okay, I'm going to just keep going. I feel like you have a tendency to be very, like, forgiving of this person. Because you love them, you care about them, and you want to make this work, but it's starting or has been affecting you here for a while. All right, Leo's side of the connection. The Hermit, the Eight of Swords. It's very obvious that you don't want to lose this. You don't want to lose them. You don't want to lose the connection. And the universe wants you to kind of take a look at your limiting beliefs around this. Meaning, what are you most afraid of losing? To the extent that you're willing to accept less than what you deserve. That's the question the universe is asking you here through this connection. Because if you're wanting commitment, if you're wanting someone who shows up for you, who is willing to communicate, be vulnerable, emotionally available, loving, is able to love you the way that you deserve, can reciprocate your energy, but you're accepting less than that, then why do you think you have to accept less than that in order to be loved at all? So with the Hermit here and the Eight of Swords, the universe is asking you to shine a light on things that are deeper than the surface when it comes to this connection. Because I feel as if there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. And that can give you an insight into what needs to be addressed so that either this connection can improve or you will be led to the people that are more able to love you in the right way. Leo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Tower in reverse. You're avoiding something. What are you avoiding? Avoiding an inevitable, avoiding a truth, avoiding an action, avoiding what? Tower in reverse. What are you avoiding? There's something you don't want me to see. There's something you don't want to come forward here. Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. There it is. Okay. Okay. Here you are, Queen, King of Wands. Could be dealing with another fire sign, but I feel like this is like, it's almost as if the universe is like, in case you were confused, this is you. This is about you. So here's the thing. Part of you is believing that if you show up as this Queen of Cups, this nurturing, compassionate, kind person that you are, to this person, eventually they're going to value you, the Lovers here, in the way that you truly deserve. And I feel like there's a part of you that's saying, if I can just show this person how much love I have to give, how much value I have. They might not see my value right now, but if I can show them how much value I have by loving them and supporting them and being there for them and choosing them time and time again, regardless of the fact that they're not doing that for me, then eventually they will. And I feel like you're not wanting to see that that's what you're doing, because that would require you to have to shift your perspective here. Because first and foremost, when someone doesn't see your value, it is not, we should never take it as a opportunity to prove our value. Second of all, if someone doesn't see our value, that has more to do with them than it does with us. And that does not dictate our value. But when we think that other people's opinion of our value determines our value, we will do everything in our power to try to prove our value to them, in turn, making us feel more unvaluable. So I feel as if there's a part of you, Leo, that's coming from this place of, I'm going to act unbothered, I'm going to love, and I'm going to just try to show up in this connection in the best way that I know how, and accept very little in return out of hopes that eventually this person sees how worthy and valuable that I am, so that is eventually reciprocated. But what you're actually doing is you are setting the standard for the dynamic. You are saying, I will give you all of this love and all of this energy. I'll give you my mind, my body, my spirit, and I will expect very little in return. And that creates a dynamic to where this person is going to go, cool. So why would I ever have to commit? Why would I ever have to give if I can get what I want without having to face the uncomfortable emotions associated with fully committing to somebody? And I feel like we need to dive deeper into that, into where this person is coming from. We'll jump back over to your side in just a second, but let's see. You have innocent with the 7 of Cups. This person does. So let's see what they're dealing with. This person's energy toward Leo. This person's energy toward Leo. Whoa. They like this energy. They like this Queen of Cups energy that you show up with, yet they meet you with the Queen of Swords in reverse. You show up loving and compassionate and there for them, and they are freaking cold. Almost indifferent. Not that they are indifferent, but that's how they appear in this connection. It's like they're closed off, they're unavailable, they're not putting in the effort, and you continue to show up as this Queen of Cups, and they love it. They love this energy. But I want to know, so you have this Queen of Cups energy, they have the Queen of Swords in reverse energy here. Obviously, could be dealing with water sign or an air sign, but you know who you're dealing with. This person's energy toward Leo. What does Leo need to know about this person's energy toward them? The 5 of Wands. This person's conflicted. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. Now, here's what's frustrating about that is I feel like at the core of it, you are giving them everything that they are truly looking for. Unconditional love, support. That Queen of Cups, they love it. But it's like they don't want to fully commit to it. Now, the commitment part is probably what's really scary for this person, giving what they're getting and, fully investing. And that isn't fair to you by any means. But I feel like they're really good at justifying it in some way. Because, again, they come off as very innocent. Oh, I'm really busy right now, or I have a lot going on, or I just got out of a relationship, or whatever the case is that makes it go to you. You're like, okay, that makes sense. But let me just love you, support you through all of this. But then they never, things never change. It's like there's always, well, this is going on, or I told you I just got out of a relationship, and you're like, that was 2 years ago. What the heck? Something like that. It's like they're always conflicted. They're never fully invested. This person's energy toward Leo. Whoa, that came out aggressive. Knight of Wands in reverse. Self-sabotage. This is why I'm confused about why they're conflicted. Because they love the energy that you give them. But they don't want to commit. And it's almost like they're sabotaging. It's like they keep making decisions that sabotage the connection, even though they like the energy you give them. Like, they like how you show up for it, but they sabotage it anyway. Okay, so that person's we got a lot to uncover about them. I feel like we'll get deeper when we come back over, because I don't think this person's just straight up using you by any means. I just feel like it's like they don't have the ability to meet you where you're at. Now, people can only meet us where they're at, right? So that's, again, says more about them than it does you. But they're not as innocent as you think. It's like they're not, I don't know, there's a little bit of like leading you on here. Or not like to the extent where they're just like stringing you along. It's like while they decide what they want, or decide if it's worth it to face the uncomfortable emotions that come with commitment, and you're over here like giving and giving and giving and showing up and getting frustrated, rightfully so. But it's almost like you're avoiding seeing things as they are because you're so focused on what they could be if they changed. So let's get more. Leo's side of this connection. This is Leo's side of the connection. I wanted to turn all the way around or hit the table. That's why I didn't take that. This connection, there's a lot of anxiety associated. What are they going to do? Are they going to text me back today? Are they going to ghost me? Are they going to leave me? Are they going to choose me? Are they going to be there? Are they going to, that's not how you deserve to live. That's not what healthy connections exist of. Healthy connections exist of a certain level of certainty, and you don't have that here. You're always uncertain about what this person is going to do and how they're going to act, and it leaves you, it's like you're constantly second guessing. You're second guessing the connection, you're second guessing them, you're second guessing yourself, and it's like, no wonder you're frustrated, because I feel like you're waiting for this commitment that just seems to never be coming. Again, you could be married to this person. And when I talk about commitment, I mean emotional commitment. Commitment to showing up for the connection and doing the hard stuff together. The communication, the vulnerability, the honesty, that's what I mean when I talk about commitment. Commitment goes so past titles and rings and ceremonies. It's something that is more direct. And I feel like you don't have that. It's like the more you have more anxiety about this than you do feeling of, and that's why you're looking for stability, because you're looking for that certainty in this person. You're looking for them to choose you, to prioritize you. And they continue not to, and almost like make you feel almost as if it's your fault, or I don't know what's going on here, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, Leo, that you deserve more than this. Leo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Ooh. Chariot in reverse. There's no progress. No forward movement. You feel as if things are stagnant, as if things, again, it's like it's like hamster on a wheel. They always come back around to as they are, and you never actually make real progress in this connection. And maybe for a while things were going, but before things had to get serious, or when they started getting serious emotionally, this person was like, too much. Don't know how to handle it. And they withdrew. And now you're like, okay, I'll just keep showing up. I'll just keep loving. I'll just keep being there for them. And it's just, there's absolutely no progress. Nothing ever changes. And the universe is saying something has to change. And if it's not them, then what can you change? What can Leo change here? Leo's side of this connection. in reverse. Star in reverse with the Two of Cups. Okay. It's obvious that you have a lot of love for this person, but the universe wants you to take a look at how maybe you are loving them more than you are loving yourself here. You're giving and showing more love for them and for their needs than you are for you, which is constantly being, other people are always a reflection of ourselves. If we're not fully committed to showing up for ourselves and showing up for our needs, other people will not be. They will always reflect back to us the lack of that. And that's where the universe is asking you to focus on what's within your control, because you absolutely deserve better, and you know that. But if somebody else isn't willing to provide you with better, you have to provide you with better. And you have to see what that means for you moving forward so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Now, I'm not saying up and leave this person, walk away, screw them, there's no hope. But I am saying you have to get so real about what it is that you need and make sure that you're standing up for that. And you're willing to say, listen, if you can't give me what I need, that's fine, because you have a certain capacity, but I also have needs that I deserve to have fulfilled. And if you can't do that for me, I am going to have to redirect my energy to people who can. And when we set boundaries and when we stand up for our worth like that, yes, sure, it does give people an opportunity to change, but it's not about changing other people. It's about protecting our value and saying, I know what I bring to the table here. I know how to love unconditionally. I know how to have compassion. I'm here to show up for this. And if you can't, I deserve someone who can. Because boundaries are about, like I said, protecting your value and knowing what you bring to the table enough to stand up for that. And I feel like it's obvious that you're providing them with so much love and so much compassion, but they're hitting you back with coldness and distance and conflictions. And, the biggest thing we have to remember is that, and I think it's so easy to take it personally when other people don't choose us or don't prioritize us or, don't reciprocate us in some way, because we always look at things first through the lens of our deepest fears and insecurities. So we have a tendency to look at other people's decisions and take it very personally and say, oh, this person's unwillingness to commit to me means that there's something wrong with me, means that I need to change something about myself, or I need to be better, or I need to show them how valuable I really am, when in reality, other people's unwillingness to commit to us might actually be them incapable of providing us what we have to give. And every time we are rejected, it really is divine redirection toward what is truly meant for us. But we have to be willing to see it in that light, which is really hard to do when we do deeply care about someone. So especially, the reason I talk, when I see this card, the soulmate card, I talk about how we all have different soulmates, is because it's so important to understand that there is not one person on this earth who holds the power to love you in the way that you deserve. And if that connection doesn't work out, then you're screwed. And I think, we have a tendency to label people as soulmates and twin flames, and they're my person, and all of these things that attach us to this idea of what this person could be if they grew, if they changed, if they healed, which ultimately ends up keeping us in situations that are unfulfilling, that make us feel like this, anxious and afraid and worried and insecure. When in reality, there are people out there who know how to love us in the way that we deserve, but we have to believe that they exist beyond what we're willing to settle for. Now, you might not know that you're settling, because in your mind you're saying, yeah, I'm putting up with a lot right now, but things can get better in the future, right? You're holding on to this idea of change, but things aren't changing. So what can you do about it? Because you can't control this person. You can't shame people into change. You can't love people into change. You can't prove people into change. When people are, so determined to not change, there's nothing you can do to make them change. And it feels as if this person is more interested in self-preservation and self-protection than they are truly opening up to a healthy, committed relationship. Now, you can find that out by asking for your needs to be met and paying attention to their response, because someone is either going to yes, I'll meet your needs, or they're going to say, no, I can't, you're asking for too much. They'll get defensive, they'll come up with excuses. Anybody who is not willing to meet your needs or respect your boundaries is someone who benefits from you not having any. And those are not the people that are meant to be in your life. Those are not the people that are meant to love you. And the more that we can realize that and truly believe that, the more that we will take action in a way that benefits us, that stands up for our value and our worth, and that will always lead you to the people that are meant for you. Always, every single time. This person's energy toward Leo. They won't make a decision. They won't it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't want to lose you, but I don't want to commit. And no matter what, it's like they will not make a decision here. They're always on the fence. They're always second guessing. They're always ready to run. They're always ready to push you away. They're always ready to give up. It's like, I don't know. It's like they're not, if there's something that I've learned being in the relationships that I have now, is that saying, like, if they wanted to, they would. I think that there's a couple of ways to view that. Absolutely, if people wanted to show up for you, they would. But also, we do teach people how to treat us. And we teach people how to treat us with our boundaries, with speaking up about our needs, and with being completely honest and authentic about what it is that we require when it comes to being loved. So if we do that, and people aren't willing to meet us, that's where our answer lies. It's not, oh, if this person wanted to, they would without you ever asking for it, right? That's not fair. That's not a loving way to approach things, because that's saying I expect this person to read my mind, and that's not fair, right? But if you can honestly say that you've been honest and you've spoken up about what you need and what you require, and you're saying this is what this is what I'm looking for out of this. If you can't provide me with that, that's okay, but I can't continue to just wait for you to choose me, or wait for this to happen, or wait for you to make a decision, because my value is more than that. It's a privilege to be loved by you. It's a privilege to love you. It's a privilege to experience you, Leo. So come from that place. Stop waiting for people to see that privilege, and start recognizing that it is a privilege, and anyone who isn't willing to see that is missing out on that privilege, not determining that it's not a privilege. Different things there. So I feel like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like you could justify this person's decisions all day long. You can justify any decision all day long. People always have reasons for everything that they do. I'm not saying it's a good thing. You can always have reasons for everything, but that doesn't make it okay. Having a decision to treat you poorly, or to not show up for you, or whatever, there might be justifications, but that doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean that it is something that you have to tolerate. You can have empathy for someone's situation, and you can love them unconditionally, but that does not mean you have to tolerate the behavior. Remember, you want the commitment, but you're not listening to yourself when it comes to how to get that, how to go about receiving that. This person's energy toward Leo. What does Leo need to know about this person's energy toward them? Okay. I'm like kind of chuckling at this person's energy, because I feel like it's like the epitome of someone who self-sabotages and then is like, man, nothing ever works out for me. Or like, yeah, it's like they self-sabotage, they ruin a situation, and they go, yeah, like nothing ever works out. I'm always a victim. That's what this person's energy feels like. It's like they're not doing the work, they're not showing up, but then when things don't work out, it's, I'm never going to be loved in the way that I deserve, but yet they're doing the self-sabotaging. And I will say, I think that is something that I personally, just to, because I don't want to come from a place of projection, I personally struggle with that a lot, with people who self-sabotage or make decisions that aren't good for them and then turn around and play the victim. And so I get why that's frustrating, because you're sitting there saying you have control over this, but yet you're not, doing what's necessary to make it happen. But with because this is like total lack of accountability. It's like they're sad that they don't have what they want, but yet they're not giving you what you need to get what they want. So, I think that it's important to understand that, again, people can only meet us where they're at. And if this person isn't willing to look within them and take accountability for the ways that they're not showing up in the way they wish to be shown up for, then they're not willing to do the work to actually build a healthy, sustainable connection. Because it just feels like, I don't know, this Five of Cups also could be this energy of them just like not being in a good place and doing nothing about it. That can also be hard. You know, they're struggling, but that just allowing, like what do I say? What am I trying to say? Like, you know, I think when people are going through hard things, or just when they've been through a lot, you know, we have to have empathy for them. But that's where taking radical accountability for our life and making sure that we are doing what we can to make our life better, focusing on what's in our power to make our life better is so incredibly important. Because at some point, we have to understand that it is our responsibility to deal with our trauma. Our trauma isn't our fault. The things that happen to us isn't our fault. But it is our responsibility to show up to, make them better so that we don't put our pain on other people. Because that's what's happening here, is this person is, they're in this place where they're not able to fully commit, yet they're keeping you hanging on. And that's not fair. That's not okay. That's not an okay thing to do. You can't fix them. You can't heal them. You can't save them. And I feel like the more that you try, the more that you end up drowning. And I feel like that's why the universe is saying, you can be there for someone and you can support them, but not at the expense of yourself. And this has become at the expense of yourself. Because again, they're not as innocent as they seem. That's just kind of the overall gist, is you might have empathy, but that doesn't mean that they're innocent. I'm trying to think of a good example of that. This person's energy toward Leo. Queen of Wands, Eight of Cups. So here you are. Wait, okay, hang on. I want to clarify this Eight of Cups here. It feels as if they expect you to bear their burdens. It's like they expect you to hold the weight of their baggage. But it's like, yeah, they have this baggage that they're not dealing with and they're expecting you to carry it. But it's not yours to carry. It's not yours to carry. And that's why, like, you can love someone all day long, but you can't, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can try to, help someone, you can give them all the tools, but if they're not, because it doesn't feel like they're actually doing anything to make better changes for themselves and for their life to be able to show up in the best way here. It's like they're putting this baggage on you and they're saying this is your problem. I can't commit to you because of my baggage, but I expect you to stick around and commit to me regardless of the fact that I'm not committing to you. Because you should have empathy for me because I'm not committing because of my baggage. And that's not fair. That's not okay. That's not, I'm not saying it's not something they can justify, but I just feel like you kind of have to take the rose-colored glasses off. Love someone unconditionally, absolutely. But also be willing to see them and see the situation for what it is. See a situation for what it is and make your decision accordingly so that you're not loving someone else more than you're loving yourself, which I feel is kind of what's been happening here. And you do love and care about them, but you need to make sure you are loving and caring about yourself too. You deserve the same. You deserve the same love as you're giving them. Okay, In between the connection, you have change with the Seven of Wands. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and then I have an advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Leo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Leo, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Leo.